Welcome to Internal Corporation Singularity Containment Site. A facility housing the well-known stabilized black hole reactor Mark II. In addition to that, this facility offers scrumptious meals courtesy of the two internal cafes. For quite some time, this facility had been mostly visited thanks to its openness to visitors. Or at least it was.
Breaking news. There is a virus called COVID-19 ravaging the world, and all civilians are required to stay at home. Public places must be shut down to minimize the spread of COVID-19.
The facility is forced to comply with the government's orders to shut down. With no one present to maintain the SPHR Mark II, it had to be shut down to prevent damage. Several maintenance workers were laid off due to the closure, while employees had to work from home, handling various tasks that the employer offers. After a year, restrictions have been lifted, but all civilians are still required to wear masks outside. Additionally, temperature scanners are now installed in every indoor building, including Internal Corporation Singularity Containment Site. As the grand reopening of ICSCS approaches, you find yourself in a tour group heading to the facility. As a potential staff member for Internal Corporation, you eagerly kept your eyes wide open as your tour group is approaching the facility.
Normal temperature.
Consider using an alternative route. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation in keeping everyone safe and healthy. Thank you for using me. Next station, Station Beta Reactor Station. You're now at Station Beta Reactor Station. Attention all passengers. Due to COVID-19 safety measures, we regret to inform you that the train capacity has been limited to 10 passengers. We Stabilized Black Hole Mark II startup has been primed. Please prepare to exit the chamber immediately. Calibrating formation lasers alpha and beta. Done. Calibrating thermal systems. Done. Engaging formation lasers alpha and beta. Done. Now forming reactor safeguards. Done. Generating black hole solution. Done. Initializing power lasers. Done. Sending reactor information to servers. Stabilized Black Hole Reactor Mark II startup has been completed. All personnel, you're welcome to continue normal operations. Okay, I'm not ready to end the video yet, but I owe you guys an explanation. After 2 years of ICSCS being in its pre-alpha and alpha stage accordingly, pre-beta is such an incredible milestone for the game. And I'm glad that we had made it after 2 years. The first thing that you have noticed is that the architecture is updated. While the SPHR Mark II still remains the same layout and architecture, everything else got updated. The most noticeable change here is, of course, the layout and architecture. Keeping the same aspect of the old layout where it wraps around the reactor chamber, this also reduces the amount of unnecessary hallways. However, that's not really the reason why the entire layout and architecture got changed. The main reason is that several people are complaining that it's a hallway simulator, and I totally agree.
But it's a lot of hallways, and I think the map is just excessively big.
Yeah.
Navigating the old layout seems like a chore when doing things like traversing the facility, helping out visitors, etc. But with the new layout, traversing should be easier to do now. Personally, I'm still learning the new layout that I have just made because I was so used to the old layout. The architecture also got a remake as well in order to complement the new layout used in pre-beta. Since pre-beta is going to be the biggest update to ICSCS, it should be reasonable to update the architecture as well. Also, did you remember about the intro where it mentions about COVID-19? I know, I have watched a few videos about Alpha Part 2 and some people in the comments of those videos were asking why did I decide to add that in the game. Here's the explanation.
Note from the game dev, Ratner clarified the game takes place specifically in 2021. Huh.
Wear masks.
Yes, wear masks.
Like seriously, wasn't 2020, 2021 like the height of COVID? It's still around, but less so nowadays.
Yeah.
I was watching Astra Stream, also known as Astra X2, where they were reviewing reactor games. It's like sci-fi or buzz, but it delves deep into specific categories such as creativity, audio, fun factor, etc. In the end of this saga, CPU-F took the trophy for the most composite scores, while ICSCS took 2 X ranks back home, indicating that it's the best in its category, with the X rank. Okay, now back to the explanation about the intro. Since ICSCS takes place in the year 2021, I did not realize that COVID-19 was still a thing in that year, till they had brought up the idea about the pandemic, and I agreed. I got to work, adding temperature scanners, masks for NPCs, as well as a transit limit, while in pre-beta, you can see that the introduction has visitors with and without a mask. I'm still planning to add a feature where you can toggle a mask on your avatar, whether you wanted it on or off, since obviously some people won't like masks forced onto their avatar. Anyways, that's our explanation about this thing. In short, I was attempting to base the game off that pandemic. Although it's not the best in my opinion, I did try my best. So, in the new introduction, where it's a tour, you're a potential staff member for this facility while you're in a tour group. Soon after, you meet Guidely, the guide that I have shown you in the Alpha Part 2 stream. Guidely will play a major role in this update, but it's still under planning at the moment. However, the tour wraps up with the tour guide stating that they can't go down any further, since sub-levels 2 to 6 is off limits. Do not worry, pre-beta has Guidely's lines changed for the first guide, more about sub-levels. Now, what about the new startup? The new startup will have whoever initiated the startup first play a cutscene where they activate the startup button, and then the SPHR Mark II starts up. However, the old startup in my opinion does not really have that much of an impact, so I decided to remake the startup for this version. Sometimes the timing might be off with the reactor formation sound and the cutscenes for the new startup, but it should time well most of the time. Another noticeable change with this update is the original soundtrack. 10 of the OSTs were either remade or remixed, while there's one new OST during the tour. This is because some of the OSTs aren't up to my standards anymore, and I feel like they can get my 2023 treatment. And yes, I did say 2023, mainly because the OSTs are made back in mid to late 2023. The new OSTs will be uploaded onto my channel soon, but I just got to render the videos for it. And finally, let's talk about the other stuff that has been changed. One of it is the internal transit. Yep, the internal transit had went through another remodeling. This is the second time it has happened, and will probably be the last time it will happen. The main reason for that is because the internal transit had been completely reworked, sporting two tracks, where one takes the station Delta route while the others take the station Alpha route, which means that they'll be going in two different directions. Not to mention, there's a second car which allows for more passengers in the internal transit. Another thing has changed is the events, called Earthquake and Invasion. Earthquake only received a minor change where it flings the player, while the Invasion event is slightly buffed with new invader types. There are 3 new invader types: Enforcer, Berserker, and Ninja. I'll not go into more detail into those at the moment, but you're free to make your own predictions. And finally, there's a new area, which is an auditorium, where certain events might take place there. If there were to be a stream about beta and onwards, the auditorium might be used for the stream. Before I wrap up this video, you might be wondering when can you play this Canary build? To answer that, I have no idea at the moment, considering I still have a few things to adjust before making it playable for people who purchase the Canary access. Also, since the update is significant and changes a lot, the revision for pre-beta will be 2.0. However, I haven't planned the update name for pre-beta just yet. The price for the Canary Access Game Pass might be bumped up soon, and I plan for the Canary Access Game Pass to not go above 200 Robux. I'd also like to elaborate more on the features shown in the future stream about ICSCS pre-beta, since I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of what's to come for the next update. Anyways, this is where the video ends, and I'll see you next time.